All right, guys, what is going on here early for a live stream here for Monday slate? We got a 5 game slate. Bear with me 1 second, as always. Let me just tweet out the live stream and then we can jump into it. So give me 1 minute. Not going to be a super long live stream, probably about 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker here than normal. And then obviously, if I can't get to you guys, if you have a question I can't get to, you can always hit me up on Twitter. All right, just tweeted out the live stream. If you guys notice, I have a nice bright blue background. Yeah, this is not my apartment, so I'm here for about a week. So you will see this bright blue background for a little bit. But all right, I think we're all set now. Let's get it. Good to be back, guys. All right, well, let's go over the news we got so far. So we do have some pretty big news that is slate changing, in my opinion. Unfortunately, we got the sad news there. Isaac diagnosed with a torn ACL. That was brutal. Guy was already dealing with injuries enough, so I really feel bad for him. The Miami game's already going on. Again, that game was not included on the main slate. For tomorrow's slate, oh boy, the Nets, no LeVert, no Joe Harris, no Jared Allen. Are they going to have enough players to have a full 5 guys out there? I don't know. That's going to be ugly. And Jamal Crawford, uncertain as well. Britton Forbes, Bellinelli out. We kind of expected that. Forbes has been out for a while. Bellinelli missed the last game. Let's see. Terrence Ferguson ruled out. Not big news. GR3 ruled out. Not big news. The big news here is Dennis Schroeder. He will leave the bubble, and he's ruled out. That's big. You know, I already mentioned liking SGA at his price, but now that's even bigger boost to SGA. I like Gallo a lot more, and I like CP3. Yeah, I mean, Denver's missing a lot of their good defenders, right? Gary Harris is a really solid defender that's not playing. I like OKC here, and I think you get one of those three at least of SGA, CP3, and Gallo. I don't think that really, I don't think I would target the value here for OKC. It just makes those core guys that much better. So I definitely think you should get exposure to at least one of those OKC guys. Ish Smith will start at point guard today. I think that makes him a little bit more viable. I think the minutes might go up a little bit, right? Him and Napier will split it. Maybe Ish gets a few extra. Oladipo out. We expected that. He was doubtful. And then Malcolm Brogdon will play. This is, I did not want this news. I wanted to play Aaron Holiday. This is a downgrade to Aaron Holiday. They're starting Brogdon at the point. Now, I still think Aaron Holiday is a very solid play, but not like the best, not one of the best plays like he was before this news. And then, yeah, again, Brogdon starting the point with the 2 Holidays, Warren and Miles Turner. Let's see. All right, so let's go over the odds really quick, and then we'll go the team by team breakdown. If you guys are new to this live stream, I'll go team by team, kind of go with cash game plays, GPP plays, and then get to questions at the end. So we have Pacers, Wizards, a 228 over under. The Pacers are 9-point favorites. Nuggets, Thunder, 219.5 over under. The Thunder are 5.5-point favorites. Grizzlies, Pelicans, 236.5 over under. Pelicans are 4.5-point favorites. Spurs, 76ers, 227.5 over under. 76ers are 7-point favorites. Lakers, Jazz, a 217 over under. The Lakers are 6.5-point favorites. So let's start with Denver. Don't think we have the starting lineup out yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get the same as... Well, we don't have Jamal Murray news technically yet. Malcolm Brogdon will have his minutes monitored. I hate that phrase because we don't know what his minutes limit's going to be. My best guess is Brogdon plays around 25, maybe to 30 minutes. If Malcolm Brogdon had no minutes limit, I would love him, but we just don't really know. Again, I hate that minutes monitored phrase. But yeah, let's talk about Denver here. So Jokic is at 9-4. Again, I always mention he's a very, very frustrating player to roster in DFS. If Jamal Murray's out, and he's going to have to do a lot offensively. He got off to a really hot start that first game, then kind of cooled off and didn't do a whole lot offensively. That's Jokic for you. Again, at times he'll just take over, and then at times he'll just defer offensively. Don't know why. Even with all these guys out, he still will defer sometimes. But I think he has upside here. The matchup not necessarily the best against Steven Adams, but I think Jokic and Embiid, if I was going to spend up on centers, would be the guys I'd look to. But there are some cheap centers I like a lot. So it's the opportunity cost again. Center's pretty loaded, like I mentioned last slate, right? I wanted to play all three of Pirtle, Bryant, and Jared Allen. Could only play two. Kind of the same thing here. Like I want exposure to Embiid, I want exposure to Jokic, but then that doesn't let me get to guys like Miles Turner, Thomas Bryant. So you're going to have to make some tough calls on center. I think Jokic is definitely in play at the top against all these guys, potentially Jamal Murray out too. The value here, Monte Morris at 5K is going to go virtually unowned. He was in some foul trouble issues too, so I think he probably gets closer to 32, 33 minutes. I think he's solid. Again, I think he goes very under the radar. I don't know if he's a cash game play, but someone that you could look to at like sub 5% ownership that, does have upside. Monte Morris is a solid point guard, and Denver is pretty thin right now. Guys like Millsap, Jeremy Grant, if you land on those guys, that's fine, but I'm not going out of my way to play them. Again, their bigs are kind of healthy, right? Jokic, Mason Plumlee healthy, Millsap, Jeremy Grant healthy. They're all kind of split the minutes. Jokic will get his good run. Mason Plumlee will back up. And then, Millsap, Jeremy Grant kind of split the minutes. They could play them alongside together a little bit, but I'm not super excited about either. Michael Porter Jr., kind of the same thing. Got limited a bit. Was also in some foul trouble issues. He's a guy that does have upside, but it's just, Mike Malone is, for some reason, does not want to play this guy. Now, again, I know he was in foul trouble issues last game, but yeah, I think if you land on him, that's fine. I think we probably get closer to 30 minutes in this one. And he is a guy that will shoot the ball a bunch, and if his shot's falling, he does have that type of upside. So I have interest there in Michael Porter Jr., but not my favorite value. Torrey Craig's pass. I'm not going to pay 4.5K for him. Dozier and Bol, not enough minutes for me to consider those guys. So that's it for Denver. Definitely Jokic is my favorite play if you can get to him at the top. But again, the opportunity cost of using one of your center spots in him, you're going to have to make tough decisions, right? There's Jokic, there's Embiid, there's Turner, there's Bryant, who I want to play all four. Can only play two of those guys. So, like I said, it kind of whatever works with your roster construction, but you're going to have to make some tough calls there. Again, we had to wait in the Jamal Murray news. I'm assuming he's going to be out. That's why I think Monte Morris is a solid play, but because they have him listed as very questionable. Let's move on to OKC. So OKC's normally a team I'm not super excited about, but when one of their guys are out, Dennis Schroeder now out. Now I like a lot of the main guys. So CP3, SGA, Gallinari, I would get one of those guys at least. My favorite is SGA for his price, 6K. I mean, he's probably going to now play 38 minutes or so in a close game. I love SGA. I know the matchup not necessarily the best against Denver. Doesn't scare me. With Schroeder out, the minutes are going to be locked in. Usage is going to go up. So I really, really like SGA here. I like Gallinari too at 5'6". Normally he's just someone that I'm like, if you landed him for cash games, it's fine. He's set for 25 to 35 fantasy points, but I think the usage go up on him a little bit more. It's a revenge game too, so I like Gallo. I like SGA. Those are probably my two favorite plays, but I have interest in CP3 too, right? I think you could play two of these three guys. Would I play all three? That might be a little much, but I think getting at least one, maybe even two of these guys is not the worst idea. He had a big game against the Jazz. Just it blew out, unfortunately. So I have interest in all three of those main guys. Adams, it doesn't do a whole lot for me, or Noel, right? They're still going to split the center minutes. Who's going to play more minutes with no Schroeder, right? Well, they have like a bunch of guys that are just not high usage. Like Abdul Nader will probably get a little run. They have Dort that'll get a few extra minutes. These are just super low usage guys. I don't want to take a shot at anyone. Like Roberson, he might get in the rotation a bit more. I don't think we consider like Diallo. Would he even play last game? He did play 20 minutes. He'll probably get a little extra run. I mean, if you made me pick between those value plays for OKC, Diallo would be the guy, but I'm not overly excited about it. I don't know if we have to do it. So it's really just the boost there for the main three there with Gallo, CP3, and SGA. Let's move on to Indiana and Washington. So this is a game I want a lot of exposure to. There's a slight concern about the blowout, right? At 228 over under, 9-point favorites the Pacers are. So that is in the back of my mind. My strategy for this one is if it blows out, it blows out. I'm going to lose because I want a lot of exposure to this game. So let's start with the Pacers side. We have no Sabonis, no Oladipo, obviously no Jeremy Lamb, but Brogdon's playing. So that does, in my opinion, take a hit to Aaron Holiday's value because Brogdon's going to be playing a lot of the point guard. Now, his minutes are monitored. We don't know how many minutes Brogdon's going to play. So is he in play for GPPs? Yes, I think Brogdon is in play for GPPs just because it's the question mark, right? How many minutes he's going to play. My best guess would be somewhere between like high 20s. That would be my best guess. I don't think he cracks 30. He could, but that's just again my opinion. Now it's a really good spot here, obviously against Washington. This is one of the best spots. It's a very high over under. Washington plays no defense, so yeah, he's only dealing with like a neck injury. I don't think that's going to affect him too much, like basketball wise, right? So I think Brogdon's in play for GPPs. Now, if for some reason they just play him normal minutes, gets 35 minutes, he will absolutely crush this salary. But I think we have to temper our expectations a little bit. I think 25 to 28 minutes would be what I think he plays. He can still get you there in that time, but doesn't make him like an amazing play. Again, that downgrades Aaron Holiday, who I was super, super high on. I still think Holiday is solid. I still think he will get some run at the point, but him playing in the off guard does worry me a bit, right? I liked him a lot when he was playing point. So I think the minutes will go down maybe a bit on him too. So is Aaron Holiday still in play for cash games? Yes, I think he is. I think he probably still gets over 30 minutes. It's a really good matchup, but I think the upside might be capped a little bit because he'll be playing off guard a little bit more. And then that kind of takes guys like McConnell out of play with Brogdon playing. I think he'll get around 15 or so minutes. I don't want to pay 4.5K for like 15 minutes of TJ McConnell. Justin Holiday still should get a good run. He played 38 minutes that last game. And only had 19 fancy points. He's a pretty low usage guy, but he's a guy that, is going to be out there for threes, right? If he can knock down his threes, he's a guy that does have upside. He's going to play the big minutes, just a lower usage guy. And that's really it. Like, I don't think I want to get to Sampson or Doug McDermott now that Brogdon's playing. And then finally, let's talk about the two guys at the top. So TJ Warren and Miles Turner, I like a lot here. Turner, I was all over that last slate. He went for 70 fancy points at somewhat low ownership too. It's just, he is going to have to be a guy that scores the ball a lot here. Now, sure, Brogdon playing does take a hit to Warren's usage, I think. I think like that makes him not the best play, but I still have good amount of interest in him. Now, the ownership, I think, will go up a lot on him because the matchup and the recent play, obviously, with a 70 fancy point game. But I just think he's going to have to play big minutes, right? I think 35 to 40, maybe even over 40. Great matchup. I think the rebounds will go up here, but he's playing the 4. So I think, him only getting 4 rebounds in 41 minutes is probably on the low side. I think we expect a little bit more this game. So I still have interest in Warren. I think Brogdon playing is a slight downgrade, but I still like him a good amount, and I still like Miles Turner. I think his ownership will be pretty low after letting a lot of people down the last slate. Was in foul trouble against Embiid the whole game, missed out in about 15 plus minutes or so. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the well here. If he gets in foul trouble again, then I just wouldn't be surprised because whoever I play gets in foul trouble. But, Embiid or Thomas Bryant is not an Embiid, right? So they're not going to necessarily run their offense through Thomas Bryant. I think there's less of a chance Miles Turner gets in foul trouble, hopefully, because I like him a lot. Again, the opportunity cost, though, at center. You have Embiid, Jokic, Miles Turner, and Thomas Bryant. You can only play 2. So, it's a really what fits your roster construction. Again, I like all 4 of those centers a lot, but you're going to have to make a tough decision on center for sure. So that's it. Let's move on to Washington. Washington, Thomas Bryant, I like a lot at 6'3". I was all over him. Last night went for 60 fancy points. He's going to play big minutes, 35 plus, as long as he's not in foul trouble. Washington just super, super thin. Again, it's basically him and Troy Brown that are going to lead this offense. Now Ish Smith will get a little extra run, probably 2 at point guard. I still like Thomas Bryant at 6'3". The price tag might, worry some people a little bit, but I think he should be like a 7.5K player right now. So I think he's still underpriced. Yeah, I like Thomas Bryant a lot. Rui at 5'8". The price now makes him in play, but I would just rather get to Thomas Bryant for a little more. Shabazz, no interest. Troy Brown Jr., which Troy Brown are we going to get, right? Are we going to get the one that when I played him and he did nothing besides score the ball and was in foul trouble? Or are we going to get the triple-double upside guy who went for 50 fancy points when I don't play him? I'm right now leaning towards Troy Brown, playing Troy Brown seriously. I think we get 35 or so minutes in this one. And just again, he's going to have to do so much offensively with Washington being so thin. So hoping we get the good Troy Brown this time because I'm leaning towards playing him. Again, I like him a good amount here. Ish Smith, I think is viable at 4'7". He's going to start. I think maybe gets 30 minutes now. He's been playing pretty well off the bench. Yeah, I have interest. I would prefer Troy Brown for a little bit more, just because a guard is really loaded today. You have a lot of really solid plays on those OKC guards. You have the San Antonio guards. You have John Morant. You have guys like Drew Holiday. So there's a lot of good guard plays. So that's why I give the edge to Troy Brown, just because guard is pretty loaded as well as center today. Robinson's an interesting contrarian option off of a high-owned Troy Brown. If Troy Brown gets in foul trouble, Jerome Robinson is the direct beneficiary, but I prefer Troy Brown definitely for $500 more. That's it for me. So really, Washington's a team that I have a good amount of interest in. Thomas Bryant, Troy Brown, and then Ish Smith as well. Let's move on to Memphis and New Orleans. So, yeah, this one's the highest overrun of the day. You're going to want exposure to this game. JV at 7-9, just a GBP flyer. Going to probably get 25 to 28 minutes, but 8K feels like a lot, even in this good of a matchup. I think he's still in play, but I wish he was cheaper because I do kind of want to play JV, but I just think the price tag makes him a little bit too cheap, or a little bit too expensive, I should say. John Morant is one of my favorite plays of the day. I think he's going to be super, super chalky. I'm going to eat the chalk on him. The minutes going way up on him. 37 in the last game. Almost had a triple-double. Literally, the matchup against the Pelicans, the matchup against the Wizards, like two of the top matchups right now in the NBA bubble. So, yeah, I want all the John Morant right now. The price didn't move. The matchup's amazing. I really, really do like Ja. Triple J at 6'2". It's the risk-reward factor right now, guys. Do you want to risk the foul trouble? Full disclosure, I currently have him in, well, I did have him in, and then I think I just took him out with that news of the OKC news. Yes, I did just take him out. I got Gallo in there now instead of Triple J. So I originally had Triple J in there. That means he's probably going to stay out of foul trouble and go for like 50-plus fantasy points. But seriously, if he does stay out of foul trouble, I expect 35 minutes. It's a great matchup. It's just the risk, right? There is a pretty good chance he is in foul trouble, so it's a risk-reward factor. If he stays out, I think he can have a really good game, but there's a decent chance he gets in foul trouble. So it's all about, what's your risk. And then Brooks, I'm going to pass on. No thank you, Melton. No thank you, Josh Jackson. And make sure you play the right Jackson if you're playing someone on Memphis. Play Jaren Jackson. I'm not playing Slow-Mo or Gorgie Jang. Clark, I think, is still in play, right? He would be the direct beneficiary if Triple J gets in foul trouble. I think we get 25 or so minutes. If neither JV or Triple J in foul trouble, I think those minutes go up. Obviously, if one of those two get in foul trouble, again, Clark would be the direct beneficiary if JV or Triple J get in foul trouble. So I like Clark. I think he goes under the radar. He's a good point per minute guy. He had an off game the last time out. It's a great matchup. So Clark's a guy that I like a good amount for value, and I think he is a contrarian play. I don't think a lot of people will be on him today after having a letdown game, but I still like Brandon Clark, and that's it for me for Memphis. Let's move on to the Pelicans. Let's see. So Pelicans are a team I think will have kind of low ownership. They've been letdowns back-to-back games, blowout, and then they just didn't do a whole lot there against the Jazz, but this is a really good spot again. You're going to want exposure to this game. So Drew, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo, all above 8K. It's tricky, right? I don't know if one really stands out more than the other, but I would not hate at all playing at least one of those guys. Now, Zion, I'm going to pass. They're going to continue to limit his minutes from what I've heard. 15 and 14 minutes. I mean, there's just no way I'm playing Zion, right? Now, if he's completely off his minutes limit, then that changes, but I assume they're still going to limit him maybe 20 minutes or so. But again, that's a boost. Alonzo, Ingram, Drew. I think those guys go low-owned because of back-to-back bad games. But this is a game where I could see upside from those guys. Again, I wish they were cheaper, right? They're not really value at 8, 8-1, and 8-7, but getting to one of those guys, I don't mind that at all. I think one will have a really solid game. It's just, I don't know. It's tricky, right? I think Drew might pick up the most ownership, then Ingram, then Lonzo. But Lonzo, again, I've mentioned this. Before the break, he was crushing and playing huge minutes, triple-double upside. Basically, every time he took the court, he was shooting the ball well. What do we get, right? Do we get the Lonzo that's been struggling shooting the first couple games, or do we get the old Lonzo before the break that was crushing it and, triple-double upside every single game? Favors is a center that, again, center super, super loaded. I would put him in that range, but he's going to go super, super low on compared to those other four I mentioned: Embiid, Jokic, Bryant, and Turner. But Derek Favors, he played 21 minutes. He was solid. Again, the game blew out, so he only played 21, but he had 26 fantasy points in that time. If they continue to limit Zion, Favors is a pretty big beneficiary of that. I think we get close to 30 minutes from him. What we know is Memphis runs big, right? JV, Triple J, Clark. So I think Favors could push for 30 in this one, and I like him. Like I think he's a guy that if he gets 30 minutes, he could have 40 fantasy points. So he's another center I would consider. Again, more of a GBP play, but I like Favors upside a good amount. I'm not going to get to Hart or Melee. Redick, I think, is in play at 3.7. I think we get 20 to 25 minutes. Again, he's a guy that's just out there for three-point shooting, but if he gets hot, I would not be surprised if JJ Redick puts up 30 fantasy points in this one. So it's all about your risk factor, right? JJ is a guy that does have a low floor if he's not knocking those threes because that's basically what he's out there for. So, yeah, I have interest there. Again, if he gets hot, I would not be surprised if he gets 30-plus fantasy points. Let me refresh Fantasy Labs one more time, see if we got any more news. We have about an hour till lock. Again, I'm only going to be live for another 15 or so minutes. So I'm going to try to get quickly the last two games and answer any of you guys' questions you guys have. San Antonio. So Spurs, DeRozan is really taking a backseat offensively here. I don't have interest right now. He shot the ball 13 and 10 times in the first two games. No LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't know what's going on with DeRozan. I expect him to shoot the ball 20 to 25 times to be the leader of this team. He's taking a backseat to Derek White, DeJounte Murray. Right now, it's a complete stay away for me at 8.2K. DeJounte Murray, Derek White, I like both these guys a lot. Both are going to get 35 or so minutes. Popovich is just unleashing these guys right now. No, sure, it's a back-to-back. You never know. We could get popped, and he just gets all the minutes of Patty Mills. But what we've seen the first couple of games, right? Murray is in foul trouble, so don't be scared about the 21 minutes. I think we both get over 30 from Murray and White, and these two guys right now are the leaders of this team. They're taking over offensively. Derek White filling up a stat sheet, 26, 5, and 8. 16, 7, and 6. Both him and DeJounte Murray. These are the two guys I like a good amount. I think we get over 30 minutes from both those guys. Unless something really weird happens, which I guess I wouldn't be super surprised about because it is Popovich. But those are the two guys I like the most. Gay having a pass on at 5'8". Jakob Poeltl completely burned me in foul trouble last game. Still really tilted about that, guys. Like, really, really mad. But yeah, I can't get to him against Joel Embiid. I think there's a good chance he gets in foul trouble. Now, if he does get in foul trouble again, Embiid could just destroy like we saw against the Pacers when Turner got in foul trouble. He just absolutely abused Jakar Sampson, TJ Leaf. The Spurs don't have a lot behind Poeltl, right? They have Drew Eubanks who would get destroyed. Tyler Zeller also would get destroyed if they try to throw Rudy Gay on him. Not going to be able to stick with him, right? So there is upside for Embiid again. That's why I like him, Jokic, Turner, Bryant as the centers. You got to make tough calls there. Lonnie and Keldon Walker's prices came up. Their minutes went down with Patty Mills playing. I'm off them at their prices. Patty Mills at 3.8. I'm going to stay away. Bellinelli and Forbes are out. Witherspoon, for some reason, got a few minutes. I don't know why, but it's Popovich. Again, Zeller might get a little extra run or might get some minutes if Poeltl gets in foul trouble. But all in all, really for me on the Spurs, it's Derek White, it's DeJounte Murray. Those are the two targets for me. Let's move on to Philadelphia. So Embiid at 10-3, I think looks good, right? We saw what he did the last game. I think the ownership will go up on him after 81 fantasy points. But him, Jokic, Bryant, Turner are the guys I like. Don't even mind Favors as a contrarian option for center. If Jakob Poeltl gets in foul trouble again, just mention that he should have his way. The offense runs through Embiid. I think we get 33, 34 minutes from him again. So, yeah, I like him a lot as a spend up. Ben Simmons, I think, is interesting. He's going to go super low owned. I think a lot of the ownership will go to Embiid. If you want to play some of the 76ers and don't want to get to Embiid, I think, an interesting pivot is a guy like Ben Simmons who will play 38 or so minutes. He's going to play big minutes, going to fill up a stat sheet. So he, I think, goes virtually unknown, makes for an interesting pivot off Embiid. I'm not going to pay 8.6 for Tobias Harris. I'm not paying 7.5 for Al Horford. Everyone else is a complete stay away. So it's Embiid for me that I like a good amount. It's Ben Simmons. It's an interesting pivot off him for low ownership, but that's it for Philly for me. Lastly, Lakers and the Jazz. This one doesn't look super appealing, right? 217 over under, 6.5 point favorites. The Lakers are two teams that play at a slower pace, pretty solid defensively. LeBron at 10-7 and AD at 9-8. It just makes it tricky for me to prioritize these guys. Now, sure, one of them can definitely, like any game LeBron or AD could go off, but on this slate, the mid-range looks really, really good. So I like more of the balanced approach. The stars and scrubs is going to be super contrarian, but not going to be where I go. So I'm going to pass on LeBron. I'm going to pass on AD. If you're going to make me pick one, I'll go AD at 9.8 for the $1,000 difference, or discount, I should say. So that would just be more of a late slate play, right? So I would slightly give that to AD over LeBron for the discount. Kuzma at 4.4, I think it's interesting value, right? 32 and 28 minutes in back-to-back games. The minutes went up on him since, the break. He's been shooting the ball really, really well. So I have some interest there for value. Again, I think more just a late slate play, though. I don't think I would get to him on the main Same like all these other guards. I'm not going to get to Caruso and Deion Waiters. Again, those are guys that are interesting, but I think late slate value plays. I don't think I prioritize them in the main slate. Caruso will probably play 25 or so minutes. Deion Waiters about 20. But yeah, that's really it for me. Lakers are a team I'm kind of off on the main slate, and basically the same thing with the Jazz. Gobert at 7-1. There's just too many good center plays for me to consider him there. Donovan Mitchell at 7K, Conley at 5-5, Clarkson at 4-9. I think one of those guys will have a good game if Utah keeps it close. But yeah, again, that's just more of a late slate plays. I'm not going to get to any of them in the main slate. There's a lot of really solid guards, which I mentioned already. So yeah, if you're going to make me pick with Mitchell, Conley, and Clarkson, I will personally go Conley. I think he goes the lowest owned of the three at 5-5, but I like him as again, that's just a late slate play, not a main slate play for me. I'll go Conley, but I don't like anyone really in Utah for the main. Ingles at 5-5 seems priced about right. I'm not paying 4-9 for Royce O'Neal. Yeah, that's really it. This late game is kind of a stay away for me for the main slate. So let me refresh one more time here, and then we can get to questions. Let's see, what time is it? 3:02. All right, I'll stay on for about 10 to 15 minutes for questions, guys. So make sure you get those questions in, and then I'm going to get out of here. All right, let's do it. We have almost 200 viewers, 193 viewers. Real quick, though, if you guys enjoy all this free content, would really help me out if you leave a like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're actually kind of closing in on 4K subs, which is crazy. I think I'm at 3.79 thousand. So, yeah, if you guys are new and enjoy this, like button, hit the subscribe button would really, really help me out. All right, let's do it, guys. Let's see. What's the core? All right, so this is tricky, right? Because there's a lot of... All right. We're good. Buffering. Okay. Shoot. All right. Can you guys hear me still? I think I'm still good now. Let me know in the comment section. I know it's slightly delayed, so let me know if you guys can hear me now. Sorry about that. You're good. All right, cool. Cool. All right, sorry about that. Again, I'm in not in my apartment, so Wi-Fi a little bit shakier. That's why you see the bright blue background. Yeah, not my room for sure. All right, back to questions. So yeah, hit me up with the questions, guys, and let's do it. Sorry about that. Is Gallo in core no bueno? I mean, like, I don't know what you guys or where I cut out, but basically, what I really like is that Schroeder's out, and it's a huge boost to those other guys for OKC. So SGA, Gallinari, CP3 get a really big boost. I kind of like the balanced approach. Again, I think you play two of the four centers there with Miles Turner, Thomas Bryant, Embiid, and Jokic. It's freezing again. Shoot. Hmm. The joys of not being in your apartment. Sorry about that. It looked like it was frozen again. All right. Aaron Holiday and LeBron or Tobias and CP3. I'm going to go with... I mean, I don't really like LeBron or Tobias. I'll go Tobias and CP3 there. Let's see. Southie probably behind the stream. Raptors playing like defending champs. Are the Raptors winning right now? I saw they were earlier. I got off the Wi-Fi on my phone, so hopefully that helps. Sorry, all right. Sorry for the issues, guys. Again, this is not my apartment, so I guess keep it coming with the questions. Let's see, Clark Embiid ish or Lonzo SGA Troy Brown. Lonzo SGA Troy Brown or Clark Embiid ish. I will go Lonzo, SGA, and Troy Brown. But I think both are interesting. Thoughts on Bazley at min price? I missed the beginning. I'm going to pass on Bazley again. I just really like Gallo, SGA, and CP3 as plays. I don't really know if I want to get to any of the value there for OKC. I hate playing Tobias. At 8-6, this feels like a lot. AD, Gallo, Justin Holiday, or Ingram, Murray, Clark. AD, Gallo, Justin Holiday, or Ingram, Murray. I'll go Ingram, Murray, Clark, and I kind of like the more balanced approach. He keeps saying he is in a different apartment. Adams or White for utility. I'll go Derek White for sure there. Lonnie, Clark, or Justin Holiday for under 4,600. I'll go Clark there. Simmons, Turner, and Brandon Clark or Jokic, Porter, Jr. Gallinari. Simmons, Turner, and Brandon Clark or Jokic, Porter, Jr. Gallinari. I'll go first. Simmons, Turner, Brandon Clark. Under 4K play of the day. Under 4K, let's see. There's honestly not a whole lot of great value here. If you're going to make me pick, again, I don't really like anyone, but I will go Justin Holiday at 3.7. I think he gets good. Justin Holiday or JJ Redick would probably where I would go. Yeah, I think Justin Holiday or JJ Redick. Let's see. Grayson Allen thoughts. Yeah, I'm going to pass there. I'm rolling with a Simmons, Shea, Ingram, Porter Jr., Bryant, Morant, Brown Jr. Need a 3,500 utility. Any suggestions? 3,500. Let's see. Yeah, Dion Waiters, I guess. Dion Waiters or Caruso, if I had to pick. I really don't like anyone in the cheap range today. Still running Warren. I do have TJ Warren in right now. That does take a hit with Brogdon playing, but I still like TJ. Favorite Pelican? I'm going to go Lonzo. I think he's the lowest owned of the three. Hopefully his shooting gets back into form. Morant, SGA, Gallinari, AD, Bryant, Ish, Clark, Turner in my line currently. Good with that, right? Maybe fading Gallo and GVP is smart because he doesn't show massive upside often. Yeah, I kind of agree there. I need a forward play and not a 5,100 reserve. Suggestions. 5,100 forward, let's see. 5,100 forward. Man, Troy Brown's at 52. Yeah, there's really nothing here I'm super excited about. I'll go Paul Millsap there at 4.9. I think he probably gets close to 30 minutes. I think it's decent. Let's see. What are your favorite spend-ups? Well, my most expensive guy in my lineup is TJ Warren at 7.4. So I'm not spending up today. If I had to pick, let's see. I think Jokic or Embiid would be my favorite spend-ups. Again, you're going to have to make tough calls on the center approach. As you guys can kind of tell, if 7.4 is my highest priced guy, you can see where I'm going for my center plays. But I'm scared of fading Jokic and Embiid. Again, those two guys look really good. How many Pacers are too many? I've got Aaron, Turner, and Warren. I think 3's fine. I think 3 would be the limit for me. Doug McDermott, I'm going to pass with Brogdon playing. Great picks for under 4K value. Thanks. That's who I had, so thanks for confirming. No problem, man. How was Denver pick and roll defense? Well, I try to get Jokic a lot in the pick and roll defense. Jokic isn't the best defender there. How many Pacers in one line? 2 seems to be the sweet spot. Yeah, I think 2. I have Turner and TJ Warren, Joel Embiid. Thanks, DK. I've been a big fan of you for over a year. If I win big cash, I'm sure going to get you a share. Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. All right, I'll stand for a couple more minutes. Again, apologize for the stream crashing a little bit there. And then I'm going to get out of here. We got 45 minutes until lock, so if you guys have any questions, I can try to get to them on Twitter. Let's see. Do you have White or Murray? I have Derek White. I wanted DeJounte Murray. Full disclosure, I wanted Murray, but I couldn't get to him. Derek White was the last guy in, so I settled for Derek White. Yeah, I do really like both those point guards there for the Spurs. I guess there's slight concern about a blowout, but those are the two guys I like the most. DeRozan just seems to be taking a backseat right now. Opinion on Aaron Holiday. I still have interest in Aaron Holiday. I think he takes a slight downgrade with Brogdon playing. I think the upside, all going to feed Adams all day. Yeah, I like CP3. CP3, SGA, Gallo. I like both those guys a good amount, or all three of those guys, I should say. Adams, I just like too many other centers for me to get to Steven Adams personally. Thoughts on playing 3 Wizards then when they're on a back-to-back? I think you can do it, right? The 3 Wizards I would play would be Ish, Troy Brown, and Bryant. I think it's possible. Yeah. I mean, that game I like a lot. So I think you can do it. I only have 2 Wizards, but yeah, Bazley or Diallo. I'll go Diallo. I don't really want to play any OKC value, to be honest, but if I had to pick, I would go Diallo. Build with Warren as most expensive. Can't fit Murray by 100. Yep, exactly. I think you got my build, Matthew. Let's see. I bet the Sixers win today. I swear Lonnie Walker will drop 50 plus if Warren did and cost me laugh my ass off. Yeah, probably. Embiid, Justin Holiday, or Bryant and Warren. I'm going to go Bryant and Warren there. Any love for Adams? Not a whole lot. How many minutes did Steven Adams get that last game? Let's see. Did play 27. Yeah, I mean, I just like the other centers more, right? So I like Turner more. I like Bryant more. I like Embiid and Jokic more. Has great numbers against Denver. I think Ingram has a nice game in a pace-up spot. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting an exposure there for the Pelicans. Ingram, Drew, Lonzo. A little bit hard to differentiate those guys. They're all, I wish they were a little bit cheaper, but yeah. Show this man some respect. Hit that like button for his time. Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, another minute or so, and then I'm gonna get out of here. If you had to choose between Troy Brown or Thomas Bryant, who would you prefer? Troy Brown for his price because center's loaded, so I could get off Thomas Bryant if I wanted to. Van Fleet is going off. Hey, that's good for me. I played Van Fleet in the showdown. 3,700 utility. Who would you go? Yeah, value is really tough in this one. That's why I like more of the balanced approach. 3,700. Let's see. I would go Justin Holiday or JJ Redick. One of those two guys. Holiday will get more minutes, but he's a low usage guy. JJ Redick, a little bit scoring dependency. Yeah, Triple J or Bryant. Again, center's loaded. Both have a chance to get in foul trouble. That's a really tough one. I'm gonna go Thomas Bryant just because I think Triple J has a better chance of getting in foul trouble. Jeremy Grant and Monte Morris. I would go Monte Morris there if Jamal Murray's out. That's assuming Jamal Murray's out. Dylan Brooks or Ish for me. Clark seems like he thrives in fast-paced games. Again, I kind of like Clark as a low-owned, cheap play. Brandon Clark is going to go low-owned after a bad game. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. If you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I'll try to get to them if I can. But I hope you guys have a good day. Hope we win some money. And let's pray, please, no foul trouble because it seems like I just have the foul trouble bug right now. Yeah. All right. Good luck, guys, and I will see you all. I will have a video up for Tuesday's slate tonight. Be on the lookout for that. So good luck, and I will see you all later. Conley or Clarkson, lastly, I will go Conley there.